What did I just watch? Hey, how's it going? It's Farewell34 from Farewell Productions, and today I just saw the highly anticipated Avengers Endgame. So there is a ton of hype surrounding the film because it's a sequel to the massive film Avengers Infinity War last year, where Thanos won and the heroes were just left in dust with no Swiffer. But how was Endgame? Let's find out in my spoiler-free review. The story for this one follows Tony Stark as he's left in space with no food and water after the events of Avengers Infinity War with time running out. The remaining Avengers must find a way to finish the job once and for all after Thanos wiped half of the universe. Alright, so Endgame, where do I even start? This feels like a proper Avengers film. Now, the reason I say that is because I felt like with Avengers Infinity War, it dealt with a lot of Thanos developing his character, and it was them teaming up to try and stop him. That felt more of like an event film versus, the first or Age of Ultron. Something impressive about Endgame is how it really strengthens the chemistry and bond between each of the team members, and I'd actually say I think it's the best that it's ever been. We get new sides of our characters that we haven't seen in a variety of ways. For example, emotionally. Seeing where each of our characters is at currently and seeing how they interact post the decimation make for some great moments. I can't get over how the Russos knocked it out of the park with regards to the characters and the emotions here. From beginning to end, and in the middle bit, it flutters just a little bit. But aside from that, they fully realize the opportunity they have here with the story, tying up and or continuing their stories and development from the previous film and the entire MCU as a whole. Something that I absolutely enjoyed about Avengers Endgame was the themes that they dive into with a lot of the characters. Some may be the the original six Avengers, some may not be. Losing half of all of life in the universe is quite the bummer, so you can imagine that you really feel the loss in Endgame. With regards to performances, I thought they were great all around, and there was a few exceptional ones. So I'm just gonna say that there were some really exceptional performances in Endgame. Ooh, there were some good ones. How's Thanos? I won't say, but with this movie, in addition to all the characterization that we got in Infinity War, it makes me like him even more than I did before I saw this movie. I actually like him an extra bit more now. With regards to the pacing, I know there was a lot of news recently with it being over 3 hours long. It's actually not 3 hours, it's more like 2 hours and like 48 minutes or so. And it moves fairly quickly too, and there's a lot of surprises that actually happen that keep audiences engaged with the narrative, and there's some weight behind them as well, so that helps. If you're wondering about the end credit scene, I don't know what to say. I didn't see any end credit scene when I saw it, so. No, seriously, we actually didn't get any end credit scene in the screening that I saw. That being said, where the MCU is gonna go from here, no idea. No freaking idea. I really wonder where they're gonna take things from here after this Infinity Saga is concluded, especially since this is such an epic film. That's the only way I can really describe it. Plus, there's all those new Disney Plus programs, and then the future movies that's been revealed. So I'm not too sure how they're gonna go about that. Plus, the fact that it actually has some of the big hitters are gonna be on the television programs now. So the Marvel TV shows are actually gonna be canon? This little nod from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fam. I love the show. It's definitely not canon. One comment about the end credit scene, I'll say stay for the credits because there's more than likely gonna be an after credit scene when it hits theaters this weekend. I personally really dug what they do with the actual credits, and you know how they usually stylize them really nice. I actually like what they do here. With regards to the action sequences, they are so awesome. They're a ton of fun. They're really engaging, thrilling, and I'm not gonna say anything else really because I don't want to spoil anything or give too much or get people too hyped, but they're dope. Just a side note, try and go into this thing with as minimal knowledge as possible and spoilers. There's really a lot more in the film in terms of Easter eggs and just surprises, so hashtag don't spoil Endgame for yourself. And the last thing that I really want to say is I honestly found Endgame to be such a satisfying ending to this Avengers movie, including the last act of the movie, which is, my mouth didn't drop for like 10 minutes straight, dead ass. Alright, so now getting into some of the hiccups that I had with the film or some of the nitpicks. There are a couple, but again, I still really enjoyed the movie. So I actually thought Endgame starts off really strong, and this might include one of my favorite openers in the entire MCU. Around the second act, it starts to drag ever so slightly, but the changes in the narrative keep you engaged enough, but it's a little noticeable. Something that actually surprised me was how they gloss over some kind of big details that you think they'd go more in depth in explaining, but they don't really. A lot of things they do, but there's a few things that they don't, and I was kind of surprised. These decisions are probably intentional because they leave a lot of questions open, and I'm interested to see how they'll be explained or not. I don't know. So while meshing together this beast of a movie, they have a few moments that feel a little bit too on the nose, connecting to some character development. Not to mention, there's a lot of things going on here. There's definitely one or two moments, but it wasn't completely overbearing, but a little bit too much going on. So as with every single Marvel movie, there is gonna be a good chunk of humor. That's just in the DNA of how these are. And Endgame, surprisingly, is one of the better ones, I'd say. I don't think it's the best one from beginning to end, though there are some moments that really work here. There's the occasional scene that are ever so slightly longer than they need to be, but again, that's more of a minor complaint. They aren't as bad as, for example, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 that I thought did a lot of that, where they take you out of the scenes, especially the emotional ones. Here, they actually work within the narratives and are much smoother, and they don't suck you out of it too much, or at least it didn't for me. But maybe if you were a fan of that style, then you might like it. That was just a small nitpick that I had. Ultimately, Avengers Endgame was brilliantly done and satisfying. A few sequences left me speechless, but there are loads of surprises that MCU fans are gonna love. The emotional weight here is some of the best that Marvel's ever given. I really thought I was ready. I wasn't. Aside from a few minor nitpicks like dragging in the second act and the humor and glossing over some things, I had a great time with Avengers Endgame, and I think audiences will too. I'm gonna go ahead and give Avengers Endgame a 9 out of 10. That was my spoiler-free movie review for Avengers Endgame. Are you super psyched for the movie? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. I cannot wait to watch this one again. I'm looking forward to picking up on things that I missed the first time, and I can't wait to get in discussions with all of you in the comment section or just with friends and stuff when the movie comes up, because there's a lot to talk about. Anyway, though, with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, then definitely be sure to smack that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, this is a little bit getting back into the swing of things here again, but if you guys want to check me out on my social media pages, you definitely can over at Fail34 on Twitter and on Instagram. I'll see you all next time. Take care.